Okay, so I've got all the subfloor up in this bathroom, so I thought I'd give you a little look around here. There's a lot of rat droppings in here, which is something I'm going to have to... I've already sealed off all the possible entrances outside. I've in the garage, everywhere else, but I still have rat droppings here that I need to take out of here. So I don't think there's any rats getting in here. I just have remnants of old, days past. So I'm going to have to pull all this insulation out of here. And I'm going to have to put on a respirator too, because I don't want to be messing with any kind of potential viruses or anything too. So I've got the whole bathroom sealed off. I got this the tarp that I've been using over the course of this project. I got the zipper closed on that for the most part. Right now I have it open just because I'm filming, but so all the insulation is going to come out. And if you look over there, it looks like in order to sister those joists over there, and actually one of them, the farthest to the right, is not even a full joist. So I'm going to have to cut out some of the bridging or the blocking, and just put joists in between there to span those areas. So this is going to be interesting. So I know at least this one here, I'm going to have to sister. I'll sister that using the foundation wall on the other side over there as the main support for that. Then there's a beam below the camera here. So I'm going to sister probably that joist there, this second joist right here, and then the third joist. I should be able to sister those two fairly easily, or those three fairly easily. And then the last joist, or what should be, in my opinion, should be a joist, I'm going to be sistering that. I have to cut out some of the bridging before I can do that though. So that's what I'm working on right now, sistering the joists, cleaning up the area here, then I'll be sistering the joists, and then I'll put the new subfloor down. And I'm going to make sure everything's level before I put the subfloor down, so I can eliminate as much need for a self-leveling compound as possible when I put down the flooring on top of it. So that's what I'm working on now. Okay, so I thought I'd show you the progress that I've made to this point. So I got all the subfloor out. I talked about that earlier. Got all the insulation out of here, and then because there's plastic underneath there, I was able to sweep this up pretty easily and got that all cleaned up. So it looks pretty good down there. This bathroom smells a whole lot better than it smelled earlier, with all that insulation gone. That had rat droppings and probably urine in it too. So it smells a ton better in here. So a couple issues I talked about this joist over here. I'm getting a better look at it, and this thing is really not in good shape. There is absolutely no way would have been able to tile over this at least that part of the joist and felt comfortable with that. I would have had a solid floor. So I'm gonna have to sister that joist pretty heavily. I'm probably gonna be sistering on either side of it just to make sure that it's firm. I think sistering on one side would probably be enough, but I want to make this as strong as possible. So with the toilet being there, and then the vanity being on this wall also, and then also part of the tub, I want to make this area really strong. So I'm going to be sistering most likely both sides of that joist, which is going to involve taking out some of that blocking, and the blocking really doesn't provide any kind of it doesn't really provide any kind of support for that wall anyway, so I'm not worried about it. But it's definitely something that has to happen. That's got to be fixed before I can continue. So it's one good thing about taking this whole subfloor up, that I can actually fix that problem now. So the next thing I'm going to be doing now is working on the joist. I've talked about that also earlier. Going to be doing that here shortly. I'm going to be putting blocking in over there first. I actually ended up cutting the joist a little short, which is fine, but I'm going to be putting blocking underneath the plywood over there, the plywood underneath the walls over there, so that I have somewhere to attach the new plywood. And I'm going to be doing that all the way around. Once I get the joist in over on this side, I'm going to be putting, the sister on this side. I'm going to be putting blocking running underneath this wall to the next joist over. So that's going to be one of the bigger parts of doing this, is putting in blocking everywhere so that that new plywood that goes down has somewhere to attach and is firm and solid. I'm going to be putting blocking also between the joists, probably 1 or 2 pieces of blocking in between each joist. I don't want to get carried away with that, but I think I need to add some just to make sure this is solid. So that'll take care of this floor. It should look pretty good when I'm done. It should be very solid, and I should be able to proceed with putting everything back together and feel comfortable with it. Okay, so what I'm working on now is putting the blocking in on the edges over there. And the reason why I'm putting the blocking in first is because, like I mentioned before, I cut the joists a little bit short because I was having trouble trying to get them snug underneath the plywood and that wall over there. So I just cut it a little bit short, and I still may shave a little bit more of the joist off, but I'm not going to get too carried away. I probably need to take off about 1/8 of an inch with a chisel. So the joist will rest on that wall over there, and so what I've done is I've measured in between the joists, and I've written the measurements down on the wall over there, so that when I go cut my pieces, I know exactly where each one of those pieces is supposed to go. So I wrote my measurements right on top of that wall there, on every spot. Did the same thing over here in front too, right down here. So that's what I'm working on right now, and I'll just be screwing those in. I'm going to pre-drill them, pre-drill the blocking, and then I'll just screw them straight into the joist there. I'm not going to use any kind of brackets or anything. I'm just going to screw them straight in. One of the reasons why I had to use brackets on this side over here, if you remember before I used brackets over there, was because there was so little space in there, and I wanted to make sure that I had really nice, tight, and flush blocking over there. So that's why I used those brackets over there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue on with putting the blocking in. And then, so what I've done to kind of plot this out, I've taken a look over there just to see if there are any obstacles, and if you notice right, I can zoom you in a little bit. If you notice right in that corner over there, there's a nut sticking up there. And so what I'm going to do is notch the blocking. I think that nut's about 1/2 inch tall. And I'm going to notch the blocking about 3/4 of an inch so that it fits, the blocking fits right over that nut there. The other thing I needed to watch out too for is that some of that concrete wall over there has some raised spots. So I need to make sure that when I put the blocking in, that it'll fit snugly and I don't have to worry about. So I've kind of chiseled off some of the raised spots over there. Same thing over here. Hey everyone, I'm sorry if you hear any background noise. We have the TV on in the background. What I'm doing right now is I'm drilling into this blocking to attach the screws to the joist over here. And so I'm using a countersink bit. And how I'm doing that, first of all, is going straight in to give myself a little bit of a hole that I can then pull it back out and then turn to go at an angle. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to be attaching the blocking using these 3-inch exterior screws. And they came with a star bit. So I like the star bit or the square drive bit as opposed to the Phillips bit. I just can't stand the Phillips bit. Those always strip on me for some reason. I can't stand them. So, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and drill in here first, make some countersink holes, and then after that, I'm going to go ahead and attach the screws. It looks like the wood may move on me a little bit, so I'm going to try to hold it up here with this pry bar. So I'm going to do one over there, attach the screw, and then I'll do one over here and attach the screw, and then I'll do the 2 bottom ones, just because it looks like it's moving around on me a little bit. So here we go. And actually, Yeah, see, I moved over. So actually, I think I'm going to go ahead and adjust the screw now. Okay, so we got one in. That should hold it so it won't move around anymore. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this other side. It's pretty hot there. Okay, so I got one in on this side and then one on this side. That's pretty much all. I mean, that's from what I've learned. This is all that's to it. There's not much to it. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with the two bottom ones, and then do this other one over here, and that should take care of this side for now. Then I'm going to start putting in joists, and then do the blocking on the other side after I get the joist in on the other side. The reason why I'm putting the blocking in once again on this side first is because the joists that are the sister joists that are going in are a little short, and so I want to make sure I get the blocking in before I put the joists in. I made them short because I was having issues trying to fit them underneath this plywood, and so I just figured if I just made them short, they'll still be about 3 inches onto this concrete wall, so that's pretty good strength still. So thanks for watching.